Welcome back as we continue with our discussion with girls in STEM. And today we have Marjorie Chipato. So when you go to Algeria, you said you had the intention of studying medicine.
Yes,
What
that's
transpired?
right. So what happened, it's like the streams that weren't ahead of our stream or my batch. There was this story that they were saying that they were failing. The people there, they were failing a lot. And studying in Algeria is French. So already the language, medicine on its own is very difficult. And now you have to deal with the language first before you even go into anatomy and physiology. Yes, yeah. So the Algerian government, they decided to cut on the number of people that they were giving medicine. So as a result, in that entire stream, we were a lot of us actually who wanted to study medicine, but only one person was enrolled. Yeah, we were a batch of 56, and I remember there were like almost 10, 11 of us who wanted to study medicine, but our dreams were shattered. Yeah. So as someone who, remember, I went under the government scholarship, which is an agreement. So, and for me, knowing where I came from, I don't have school fees. I just had to stay. Yeah. So I decided to do something. I had options to even go into engineering, or veterinary science, but for me, I decided to enroll under microbiology.
Okay.
Yes. But before I get to that part, there's something interesting. So the first time when we were going to apply, because we would go to the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, I was rejected together with the rest. Then I waited for the pressure, to just, then I went again for the second time, and I got rejected again. That was towards the end of the first semester, actually. So at that point, I just saw that there was no point to continue. I just had to enroll under something. So I ended up enrolling under microbiology, which I then failed the first year because I enrolled late. Yes. Yeah. So that experience, at that point, you have the disappointment of not getting medicine. And now you go into microbiology, which you think that it's easier, and then you fail it. Yes, so I had people thinking, why does she wants to do medicine when she can't even handle microbiology, or that sort of thing. But for me, I knew who I am. I knew what I was capable of, and I knew what I wanted to do. So I repeated the first year of microbiology. Then following academic year, I went again to the to the ministry to apply. Yes, I was that persistent. Yes, yeah. And when I went there, I'm sure that guy who dealt with foreigners, he now knew me with this girl. Then he then decided to give me veterinary sciences. So I was enrolled under veterinary science, but I just decided, no, let me just continue with what I started and finish, or at least I'm looking for other ways of doing medicine. So this was now the second time of getting rejected. So I decided to continue with microbiology, then finished. So as I was studying microbiology, I was doing my researches on how I can study medicine. So I was looking at places and all, and my age already, I was getting old. So I was looking for a country where I can be able to do some other things, or at least I could study. And China came up. I mean, like, it's a country with opportunities to do business, and so I decided to go to China. So when I graduated, I applied to China.
So you've completed your microbiology degree, and then
I completed. The same year that I completed is the same year that I started my my medicine degree. So when I finished, I applied again. Now that was, yeah, I applied again, but I was rejected
In China?
in China.
Rejections all over.
Yes, they said now you are too old.
How old were you?
I was 25.
Wow.
Yes, they were saying your age. Then that's when I decided to apply again, but this time using my microbiology degree. That's when I finally got admitted into medical school. Yeah. So yeah, at 25, I started my journey as a doctor, as a medical student. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And during that journey, you find that my classmates, I literally had like young children as my
Yes.
classmates. 19. I think in my class the youngest was like 16.
16.
Yes. So I was the oldest in the batch. Yeah, yes. So you know the feeling of being the oldest, and in the classroom they expect you to be excellent in everything. You can't make mistakes. And then peer pressure, like yeah, so that was part of the medical journey. Yeah, but like I said, for me, I'm someone who knew what I wanted to become, and I also had in mind my background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the 6 years, they were, yeah, medical school is difficult.
It's difficult.
Yeah, there was a lot of studying, and me at the same time I was trying to establish my business. Yeah, because I just didn't want to leave China as a doctor, and also I had to do business in order to support my school fees and to sustain me in China, because when in China I wasn't under scholarship. It was self-sponsorship. Yeah.
Wow, when we talk of persistence, I think hearing her journey, we can see that persistence actually pays. Village people can try here and there, but indeed she conquered. Join us after the break. We are in our third and final segment where we are hearing Marjorie's Chipato's story. After completing your medicine, you spoke about entrepreneurship, getting into business.
Yes.
How has that been for you?
Honestly, talking about business, yeah, sometimes the business is really good. Then there are also some other seasons where things are not well, but we just continue pushing.
So at the moment, people would want to know, so what is Marjorie doing? When did you complete your medical degree? Are you practicing? Toya uzobaiwa kupi na chiremba, you know?
Yeah, I completed in 2021. Yes. And at the moment, I practiced just for a while when I was still in China. Yeah, but now I'm back home.
Yeah.
I guess we have to save our country, right? Yes. Yeah, and at the moment, but I'm not going to the hospital at the moment.
Okay.
There are some things that I'm sorting out.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just focusing on business, but of course I'm definitely gonna be practicing. I'm just have to, because when you study outside, you have to be enrolled under the Zimbabwean medical.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask, because I know with lawyers they have to come convert some things.
Yes,
in the medical
it's
field.
the same
Do you
thing.
also come and convert,
Yes,
or
yes,
whatever
yes.
term that you call it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And for young girls who might have their own dreams, facing obstacles, we heard from you, I think the rejections that you faced, you can actually go into the Guinness Book of Records in terms of the rejections. But you persisted until you got your dream career. What can young girls learn from you?
What I can just say is, number one, as young girls, you have to have goals. You must have goals. Know what you want to be in life. And those goals, let them be the driving force to attaining them. I know that on the way to attaining those goals, there may be rejections. Like myself, I faced so many rejections. There may be challenges, circumstances, obstacles, but it's just the journey. You just have to continue pushing, persist, pray, work hard, and eventually you get there.
Giving up is actually not an option.
Giving up is not an option.
Yes.
And especially in this generation, we're just encouraging young girls, like, empower yourself, obtain your goals. Yes, I know marriage and all that. I respect marriage. Personally, I want to be married, but first attain your goals before marriage. I'm sure that after that you will even enjoy your marriage better.
When you have achieved what your heart desires. And you are also an author. You wear so many hats. Share that with us.
Yes, so I think you have just heard about the journey that I've walked. It's such a very difficult journey. So I decided to narrate it, like to detail it in a book. So I wrote a book about the story of my life. Yes, from when I was born up to the point that I became a medical doctor and having my business.
How was that experience of putting to paper what you went through in the form of a memoir?
For me, it was actually interesting, and sometimes it was emotional because I had to be reliving those moments that I once lived in the past. So it was mixed, you know, sometimes, but in overall, I feel relieved that I had to share my story with everyone, with the intention of encouraging people not to give up.
You know, writing and reading it's a culture that sometimes I would say it's not so much inculcated in us. And you often hear people saying, if you want to hide something from a black person, which is very difficult to hear, hard and said to hear, hide it in a book. They will not find it, let alone writing. You know, many of us do struggle in terms of just sitting down and putting pen to paper, sitting on that computer to be able to type all those and come up with a book. Have accomplished authors in our own country. How is that journey, mainly when you are saying, I would want to be an author? And how does society, how has your book been received? All that in terms of just authorship.
Okay, all right, let me talk about our Zimbabwean community. On social media, people, they hype you, they cheer up on you, but when it comes to the actual buying
of the book,
no, they don't. But for me, because I wrote that book when I was in China, so I had the Chinese community, like the foreigners, as such, who were in China. And I also had some Chinese people who actually bought the book. And I also sold the book to Zambia, then to Zimbabwe. So my book, it was sold. I sold my book akati one day. But tichitarisa muno muZimbabwe, I feel like there is a lot that has to be done to make people want to read
and buy
and support, especially this industry yokunyora. I feel like it doesn't have that enough support.
And hearing your story with the number of things that you actually do, one would then say, how do you juggle everything? We have 24 hours in a day.
Well, okay, what I can just say is, you, my dear, you are a mom, right?
Yes.
And you have your own business and you have other things. So, for example, you are a daughter as well. So I believe, Kuti, there are no moments where you have to be like, when your mom is calling you, then you switch and be like, no, let me switch and put another form of Tariro. You don't go it automatically. So it's just like me. I'm a doctor, I'm an author, I'm a pastor, I'm a businesswoman, I'm also a professional coach. So these things, whenever Like let's say if my patient comes, I put my patient first before everything. If it's time for business, I make sure that my 100% concentration is on the business. And when it comes to when I'm needed as a coach, I'm not a full-time coach, but sometimes I take time to do the coaching. I focus my time on that. So it's about prioritizing what needs
to be done.
to be done first, then I do it.
What's your parting shot to Zimbabweans, particularly to young girls?
All right. What I can just say is, dear ladies, have goals. I think I mentioned about that. Have goals, achieve them. Work hard to achieve them. Don't give in to pressure. Don't have the right kind of company, and don't be fooled with social media. Social media, there's just a lot of lies that go around. Yeah, just be you. Do whatever you can at your own pace.
Yes.
Yeah, and trust God. And marriage is good, but achieve your goals first. Yeah, I always meet a lot of girls who will be like, Dr. Marjorie, some are even married now, they can't because family has to come now before their goals. So that's why I encourage young girls to first achieve your goals before getting married. Yeah.
Indeed, that's a powerful story that we heard from Marjorie. And it's not just young girls who can be motivated, who can be inspired by her journey, but even us as adults, we can learn one or two things. One key thing that I learned from here is your background actually does not define your future. It does not define your destiny. Just look at being rural, coming from the ghetto, but now she is a medical doctor. Tenacity, hard work, persistence, you will achieve your goals. Until we meet again next week, it's goodbye.